Mikel Merino, Tottenham defeat is gasoline for the season ahead. A loss in Hong Kong might just be the spark that lights up Arsenal's season, turning disappointment into determination. But here's where it gets controversial. Is a pre-season defeat against a rival like Tottenham really the kindling for greatness? Or does it hint at deeper issues? Let's break it down. Mikel Merino, the Spanish midfielder, made it clear after Thursday's 1-0 loss to Tottenham in the sold-out Kai Tak Sports Park that the result isn't the end of the world. In fact, he called it gasoline for the season, a metaphor that's as bold as it is intriguing. Winning is always the goal, Merino admitted, but preseason is about more than just the scoreline. It's about fitness, bonding with fans, and adapting to new challenges. And adapt they did. Merino highlighted how the team quickly adjusted to the pitch conditions and the opponent's tactics, dominating much of the game. The result stings, obviously, he said, but we have to focus on the positives. This feeling, this hunger to improve is what drives us forward. But here's the part most people miss. The emotional impact of this match. The game marked the end of Arsenal's 2-week Asia tour, which included 2 wins in Singapore. Merino was visibly moved by the fans' support, calling it amazing, and acknowledging the effort fans put in to follow the team across time zones. They make sacrifices to cheer for us, he said. It's a two-way street. When we travel, we're not just playing football. We're sharing our culture and showing the world what Arsenal stands for. And this is the part that could spark debate. Should a preseason loss in a high-stakes derby be celebrated as a learning opportunity? Or is it a red flag for the upcoming season? Merino's take is clear. It's a catalyst for growth. We'll take the lessons, keep learning, and aim higher. So what do you think? Is this loss a blessing in disguise? Or does it raise questions about the team's readiness? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's hear if you agree with Merino's optimism or if you see this as a warning sign. After all, football is as much about perspective as it is about performance. Arsenal 0-1 Tottenham. Analysis of Gyokeres, Mosquera, set-piece defenses, and direct play. Arsenal's pre-season journey ended on a sour note as the Gunners fell 0-1 to Tottenham Hotspur, leaving supporters to wonder about the flaws in their set-piece organization and direct approach. And this is the part most people miss. In what was the first North London derby played abroad, Arsenal wrapped up their Singapore and Hong Kong tour with a defeat against their fierce rivals, Tottenham. The only goal of the game came when Pape Matar Sarr scored just before halftime, capitalizing on a mistake by Miles Lewis-Skelly inside the center circle. Despite Tottenham's determination, evidenced by their twice hitting the post, Arsenal struggled to generate meaningful chances and failed to really test Spurs goalkeeper Guglielmo Vicario. On a more promising note for the future, Arsenal gave debuts to Victor Gyokeres and Christian Mosquera during the match. Their introduction, late on in the game, provided a hint of the club's intent to infuse youth and versatility into the squad. Their next appearance will be in North London as Arsenal host Villarreal at the Emirates Stadium on August 6th, a contest that might offer these youngsters a further opportunity to showcase their abilities. A closer look at the new faces. The defining moment for Arsenal wasn't a spectacular goal or a brilliant individual play, but rather the arrival of Gyokeres and Mosquera in the 77th minute. Even though the match had already settled into a defensive battle with Tottenham protecting their slim lead, Gyokeres displayed promising awareness by holding up the ball and laying it off to Martin Zubamendi near the box. Unfortunately, Tottenham's well-organized backline quickly neutralized the effort. With nearly a week before the next friendly, this debut should allow him more time on the pitch to hone his skills. Mosquera, meanwhile, impressed due to his well-known versatility. Over the last 2 seasons, he has demonstrated his ability to play on either side of central defense, effectively covering for established players like William Saliba or Gabriel. In this match, with Gabriel and Ricardo Calafiori sidelined by injury, Manager Arteta opted to give Jakub Kivior a rest, and while Saliba shifted to the left side instead of letting Mosquera slot in there, it was a logical decision given Saliba's experience. Such tactical adjustments are crucial for maintaining balance in the team, especially as Arsenal grapple with defensive injuries and prepare for a demanding season ahead. Set-piece dilemmas that spark debate. One of the most contentious topics from the game centers on Arsenal's set-piece vulnerabilities. The match highlighted issues with defensive organization during set-pieces, most notably in the sequence leading up to Sarr's goal. Lewis Skelly's lapse in possession, whether purely a mistake or as a result of a possible foul by Richarlison, left him surrounded and under pressure, while David Raya's pass, lacking proper awareness, further compounded the problem. Earlier, Spurs had already signaled their intent by hitting the post from a corner and then seeing Richarlison miss a close-range effort. On both opportunities, Arsenal's Lewis Skelly and Saliba struggled to track the ball's trajectory at the back post. This isn't the first time these issues have surfaced. Arsenal's struggles on defending set pieces were evident last season when they conceded 14 such goals, a figure that placed them joint fifth in the Premier League alongside Ipswich Town. Yet there is also a positive angle. Set-piece coach Nicolas Jover is actively innovating in the attacking realm. Last season, Arsenal scored 17 set-piece goals, the highest by a joint margin with Crystal Palace, and a new routine was already being trialed against Spurs. Although these maneuvers didn't produce immediate clear-cut chances, they might well become a challenging variable for opponents as the season progresses. Exploring Arsenal's direct playing style. Arsenal also experimented with a more direct style early on. In the opening 20 minutes, David Raya and Saliba executed at least 5 long passes aimed behind the Spurs defense. These passes targeted different players. Saka was left high and wide as an obvious outlet, while Gabriel Martinelli's forward runs were supported by Kai Havertz dropping back into position. This strategy even allowed Declan Rice to get involved after a flick from Havertz following a long ball from Raya, resulting in a corner. The intent was clearly to quicken the pace of play, a tactic that had shown promise in previous preseason fixtures against Milan and Newcastle United. However, several of these moves were prematurely ruled offside, suggesting that while the idea is sound, its execution needs further refinement and practice. This direct approach might benefit players like Gyokeres, so dismissing it entirely would be unwise. After Sarr's decisive strike just before halftime, Tottenham retreated into their own box, effectively blunting Arsenal's momentum and limiting their attacking fluidity. This